Hey guys, Benjamin here at Simpson Vlogs, and welcome to a new video. After last week's video, I thought, why not have a video on supernatural experiences? So sit back, grab a snack, grab a drink, kick your feet up, most importantly, have fun, most importantly of course, enjoy yourselves, and check out links down below. We've got TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter of course, all feel free to continue to enjoy more short form content from me. And of course, we've got Simpson Plays linked down there, my main channel where I do gaming video and more light-hearted comedy, action-filled stuff. Along with that, of course, there's the Pokemon cards giveaway. There's still loads of time to enter into that, so follow links down below, enter your Instagram name on each of those videos, and you will be entered to a maximum of 6 times into the draw. So then, supernatural experiences. Whether you believe in ghosts, whether you don't, whether you believe in coincidence or random energies causing stuff to happen, whether you believe in God or not, there are things that just simply cannot be explained. And there are a few unfortunate or fortunate, depending on if you're into that sort of thing, souls who experience these unforeseen events. I happen to be one of those very unfortunate souls. It all stems back for me to a time as a kid, and for those who don't know me, and those who here on here on Simpson Vlogs who are trying to get to know me, who are watching all my videos, thank you very much, and really appreciate it. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with everything on the channel. But yeah, I was never a still child. I would spend most of my time walking up and down or running around outside, creating imaginary stories in my head, and these stories would range from anything from Power Rangers to Pokemon to dragons and knights and all sorts of wonderful and colourful things in between. And a result of that childish imagination and childhood naivety was I didn't believe in ghosts. Anyone who told me they were ghosts, I would laugh in their face, like full on laugh in their face and say, "You are stupid." There are no such thing as ghosts. Okay, there are just not. If you die, you are dead. You cannot come back. And depending on what religion you believe in, we won't get into that, but depending on what religion you believe in, you can explain ghosts as either echoes of past beings, or you can explain them as demons or jinn who are pretending to be someone you knew. Okay? And that's the two logical explanations that most people come up with. Or you have those in between who actually believe the dead can come back. And I didn't believe in any of that. And even though I believed in God as a kid, not as strongly as I do now, but as a kid I did believe. I didn't believe in any of that. I didn't believe in demons, ghosts, none of that. It was all fiction. Scary, but fiction. And then it happened. You get that one defining experience that changes your outlook on something in life. And for me, it was going into the woods. It was a classic. If you go down into the woods today, you're going to get a big surprise. So, near where I live, there's a McDonald's. And next to that McDonald's, there's a big woods, forest kind of thing, Never been in there before. And I went with my older brother and my younger brother. And we went to McDonald's. We had a nice McDonald's, had a bit of a laugh, joke, all banter and everything. Everything was all good. We just played WWE. And we loved that game. Shame what's happened to that game over recent years, especially last release. Yikes. But anyway, and we're going to have McDonald's, come back, play some more WWE, have some more fun, all that stuff. All good brotherly banter. And then my little brother decides to go, you know what? Let's take this shortcut. So we go around the McDonald's, there's a path. There's a path leading towards the woods. And the path turns, so we don't see that the path ends and goes into the woods and ends. What we see is we just see the path. We walk on the path, we turn around, we see the woods. And I'm like, I don't want to go in there. Little brother, older brother. For easier sake of the story, older brother, his name's Corbin. Younger brother, as you know, Zach. He's appeared on the channel, on Simpson Plays. So you want to check those videos out, there are in the FIFA 22 videos. So yeah. We went into the woods. They dragged my stupid ass into the woods. I could have gone home. I knew how to get home. I was old enough to walk my ass home. I could have just left those two, but I didn't. Peer pressure and all that. It's not good. And we were in the woods for a long time. We got lost. Okay, and all sorts of things happened. A fox jumped out at us. A massive, terrifying looking dog jumped out at us. And we got running through the woods, get lost. We stuck together, thankfully, because God have mercy, had we been separated, it would have been the end, because there was no signal there. I don't know if there's signal now. I've never been back in them woods again. But I don't know if we'd been separated, God knows what would have happened, because it was in winter, so it got dark around 5 o'clock. We were lost in the woods for a good 2-3 hours. Like, the woods aren't even that big, so that's how badly lost we were. We come out into a graveyard eventually, and it's dark, pitch dark. And I don't know if the other two remember this, but I remember us running. And it wasn't just because we were in a graveyard, and as black people, we don't like being in a graveyard, and we're scared. Okay, we don't like that. We don't like dead. Okay, I don't know if you know any black people or things like that, but we do not like death. Okay, we don't want you die in a house. We'll throw you outside and keep you out there until someone can come and take care of you. If you are dying, I have known people to drag people outside if they think they're dying. They don't want no one dying there in their house. They believe in duppe. That's what we call ghosts. Okay, duppe. We don't want that in the house. Okay, we don't want no dead people. We don't want to be around dead things. No. Okay, the black community is very superstitious. Okay, very superstitious. But I wasn't as a kid until this event. This began the journey towards terror. That's what I'll call it. The journey towards terror. I remember seeing something at one of the graves. These graves are old graves. I've been to that graveyard before. I'd seen it before. There was a World War I graveyard. Like, everybody in there died before 1950. Okay, everybody in there was dead before 1950. All that's in them is bones and dust. Okay. I saw something, or I believed I saw something, coming out of one of the graves, and I saw red eyes. It could have been anything. It could have been flowers that were somehow caught by light. It could have been anything. Okay, as an older person now, I can rationalize it and say it could have been anything, because I've never been too sure what I saw, and telling the story over and over again, it always gets more and more superficial. I always add elements to it. I know I'm doing it, but we saw something. It was terrifying. We ran for the hills. We ran home. Okay. Funny thing about this story is that I ended up getting an A-star for telling this story in English, and so I guess it had its good and its bad. But from that point onwards, there was always something in the back of my mind saying, "Holy crap! Ghosts, demons, all that could be real," and that was it. And I know how my mind works. When my mind captures something and it hooks onto it, it does not let it go. I am terrible for it. I can be minding my own business, having a good time, playing a game, laughing to myself, or on YouTube with you guys, and I can remember something bad that happened to me, or something I was embarrassed about 15 years ago. Okay? Something that doesn't even matter anymore. Something that I bet the person involved in, or people who saw it or heard about it at the time, don't even remember. Unless you brought it up and reminded them. They probably don't even remember even then. But I will. And my brain just wouldn't let it go. It was like, ghosts are real. This is scary. Oh my god. It just never let go. And nothing else happened. No other supernatural experiences happened to me ever again until I went to Germany. Anyone who knows my experience in Germany will know that Ben hates Germany. Ben does not like that place. He does not like Berlin. He does not like that country. There are many reasons I don't like that country. I mean, that's the first time I ever experienced racism at me, and that's the first time I ever experienced something definitely supernatural that other people too experienced. So we go to Germany, and we're in year 9 here in the UK. So what's that make us? About 13, 14? Yeah, 13 or 14, depending on if you'd had your birthday yet or not. I was 14 because after we didn't go in the winter, went into the next year. I'm a 99 baby, November, so I'm 14, and the school takes us to the crappy part of Berlin. So we go to the east side of Berlin. You know, the one that was behind the Iron Curtain. You know, for those of you who don't know, when the Soviet Union was a thing, you know, they had East Germany reparations after World War II, and they had East Berlin as well. West Berlin was you know, British, French, or United States quarters, and all of the East was Russian. And then, of course, all of West Germany was American, and all of East Germany, even including the parts around Berlin, were thingy. It's a whole thing. But went to the crappy side of Berlin, basically. You know, the rough area. We stayed in a crappy hotel, and the worst thing about this hotel was not that it was rubbish, okay, because it was rubbish, but it wasn't, like, I wouldn't say the hotel was terrible, it was its location. It was across from a KGB death camp. They places where people were literally taken, tortured, and never seen again. Next to it on the other side was an abandoned school. So you're just like, oh my god, where am I? Okay, and it was just terrible. It was just terrible. It was just the worst possible place. We'd just been learning about the Holocaust, about Russian and German secret services. I mean, the building we were across from was literally former Gestapo police headquarters. So that's where the Germans took people and never saw them again. Nazi Germany, that is. And then the Russians. So it's just like, oh my, why are we there? What? And then abandoned school, it was just bad. Okay, and again, my brain is already the gears are already spinning. It's already putting myself in a bad situation. The day before this supernatural event happens, I think we've been in Germany one day, and then we went to Dachau. Is it Dachau? Yeah, the first ever concentration camp, the one just outside of Berlin. Okay, it's still there, as a reminder of the horror inflicted on Jews and humanity in general by Nazi Germany. And we went there. It was freezing. Okay, it was freezing cold. It was horrible. It was a horrible. It wasn't raining, but it was just a horrible, bitter day. You know, them days where the wind is just ice cold and lashing at you. We were all cold. No, because it was sunny, then it was cold, and it was just like crap. We're finished out here. I had barely anything on. I was just there like, and we were just told all sorts of horror stories. Literally, we were just told terrible, terrible things. We were told accounts of just horrible things, basically. You know, stuff that happened. And the tour guide, in my opinion, was a dick. He said, okay, come here, come this way, children, and we walk this way. And he said, okay, you guys stand there, you guys stand there. We all stood in these places. We didn't know where we were. And then he goes, you guys are all standing in the gas chambers. And we were just like, what the hell? Okay, what? This guy arranges us to stand in these little, like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a ruined settlement or something ancient like that, and they've got like the outline of where houses and stuff used to be. We thought we were in the outline of barracks. Okay, we thought we're, you know, the tight living quarters they had people jam-packed in. That's what we thought we were in. No, we were in the gas chambers. Really? So you already got everyone on edge. You already got people talking about death and everything. We go back home now. And next thing we know, we're going to the KGB place now. And he gets me and my friend. We're stood. And he goes, you two, you guys are stood in the great area. You stood where someone committed suicide. And we're just like, what the hell is going on today? This other tour guide literally stops us next to this radiator or something, and it says this is where someone tied a handkerchief around their neck and killed. I don't even know how you even do that, but I thought you'd pass out beforehand. But that's what he said. I don't know if I believed it or not, but at the time it was just too much. Okay, I've just been stood in gas chamber. Now I'm stood with, and I told you again, black people do not like death. I'm around too much death right now. I'm not okay. Comes to night time now. And then it happens. We were four of us in a room. Me and my friend, who coincidentally is also called Ben, and Luke and Nathan. Okay, Luke and Nathan go to sleep. Me and Ben are still chatting about football and whatever we were chatting about. I can't bloody remember. What I do remember is we're stood at the window. I have no idea why. I remember why. He throws his empty bottle. You think, because, haha, kids being cool, thinking they're hard and throwing litter. Throws it out the window. It bounces into the abandoned school. Alright? And the thing is, the abandoned school's like, so the window's here, and the abandoned school's like there, so it's like he has to throw it sideways. The street's there. So that happens, it bounces, we don't see it no more. We turn our heads back to the street, and we see a ghost. We see a little girl on her own. It's pitch black, there's no one else on the streets. There's just the street lamps, darkness, and this little girl. She's got no... We can see her clearly because the street level is right beneath us. We can't mistake what we're seeing. We're both seeing it. Little girl, blonde hair, white cloak on, no shoes. We are terrified. And by we, I mean me. I grab him and said, don't you tell me that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. He says he's seeing what I'm seeing. I say, no, you're not. I'm seeing things. He says, no, you're seeing the little girl. We're both shitting ourselves now. Okay? I can't explain to you the feeling of terror and dread that washed over me. I was like, well, this is it today. This is how I die. I've been to a concentration camp, a secret police headquarters, and I'm next to the abandoned school, and the spirits have come for me. Okay, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, well, that's it. That's all she wrote. And the girl looks up at us, and this was the next scariest thing. There was no, the light is shining on her. We can't mistake what we're seeing. No eyes, just black. There's just black. There's no whites. There's no pupils. And this is before I was really blind. Okay, I had my glasses on. I was wearing my glasses on a long time as well. So I had pretty good eyesight, in my opinion. And he definitely did. He didn't wear glasses at all. So we're both looking at this, and we're both seeing this eyeballless girl. I wanted to cry, but tears wouldn't come. No sound would come. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to wake the other two up, but I couldn't move. She looks away from us, and she walks into the street lamp. So now she's fully illuminated by this light, and she just looks not right. She looks way too pale. She doesn't look right. And there's no shoes on her feet. Okay, now I know some people might say, oh, is this a homeless person? Who the hell is homeless that small? Which little girl is homeless and wearing that in the streets? Like, she's just wearing a white shawl. You would freeze to death out there. It was cold. She walks through to the other side, outside the other side of the beam, but we don't see her anymore. Like, we don't see her anymore. She just disappears into the darkness. And we're just like, oh, shit. Now, he's about to turn around, and I don't know what he was doing, but I grabbed him. I said, don't you dare. Have you never seen a horror movie where she disappears down there, she's going to be right behind us. Do not turn around. I'm not kidding you guys. I said those words. I said, do not turn around, because she will be behind us, and that will be all she wrote for us. Okay, I am not about to be possessed or killed tonight. And we stood there for a good 30 minutes to an hour, just talking, trying to get that image out of our heads. Eventually, we couraged up and sleep as well. We turned around and went to bed. Well, went to bed. He went to bed. I stayed up all night, terrified. Terrified. I was just on my phone watching YouTube videos. At the time, for those who don't watch him, Syndicate, obviously, YouTuber, my night. I was just watching that. That's all I could do, because I could not sleep. I could not remove the image of death from my mind. So it comes to the next morning now, and we both talk to each other and laugh about what we saw, and well, I say laugh. He's laughing about it. I'm laughing with him, but in my mind I'm going, we could have died. We could have died. We got downstairs, and then the guys in the next room to us, they came over and told us that they had seen the same thing. They had seen a little girl. Now, we hadn't told them about our story yet. We just come downstairs. No one besides Nathan and Luke knows our story. These four come over to us and tell us the same thing. That two of them were awake, looking out the window, and they saw a little girl. And now, this was an hour after, apparently, according to them, this was around an hour or more after our time, when I asked them what time you saw it. And that was it for me. Again, this story will stay with me forever, because that was it for me. Not only had I seen it, not only had the person next to me see it, but people in a different room had seen it at a different time, on the same day. Well, I just wanted to go home at this point. I just wanted to leave Germany. I never wanted to come back to Berlin ever again. I don't want to be. I just wanted to leave. And everything else was alright on the trip. There was no other incidents, no other encounters, nothing else besides the racism. But that's a different story. Nothing else happened. It was uneventful in terms of supernatural. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little story and anecdote. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. But more importantly, comment if you've ever had a supernatural experience. Comment if you've had one, whether you believed it or not, whether you think you were seeing things, or if you know someone else's story. Speaking of someone else's story, I found out the other day that my mum, who ridicules me for ghosts and believing in the supernatural, she went and told me that she too has had supernatural experiences. One supernatural reoccurring experience the most. She tells me the other day that one time after her dad died, her and her sister, my auntie, and they're both walking up the stairs, and suddenly a weird feeling comes over them. A feeling of, I don't know if have you ever had a headache, like the one, like when you're drunk or when you've had too much drinking the night before and you try and wake up too early. That feeling of your head just being out here. Okay? Now imagine that, but now it's not really painful. Imagine it just doing it slowly, expanding beyond your consciousness. That is a weird feeling. Okay? It's weird enough when you're drunk or when you're hungover. It's just painful and weird. When you're sober, it's alarming. Okay, you're just like, what's going on? Especially when it's sudden. You know, when you've not had any feeling of headache, just sudden onset. The weirdest part is if you step to the side of where you are, it stops. That's what she said to me. She said to me that if she would stand somewhere and that happened and she moved to the right or the left, or if she was in the middle or she was on the left and she moved to the right or the right to the left, it would stop. That's unnerving as hell. Okay, that would tip me over the ghost story is nothing compared to that. That would tip me over the edge. Okay? The worst part about it is the first time they experienced it, they saw something, an apparition. Okay, like a ghost. Okay, apparition, phantom, whatever you want, a ghost. That would be it for me. If that had happened, if I had felt a psychological or physical effect from seeing the ghost besides terror, like something it's not akin to my own brain, something happening to me, that would be it. That would be it. I'd be in the madhouse because I would have told everybody I'd be in the especially back then. I'd be in the madhouse. She's a kid. That's like 40 odd years ago. I'd be in the madhouse. Okay, they don't take kindly to that stuff. They'll lock you up. Then she tells me every time since her and auntie, not her and auntie, her and my auntie, her sister. Every time they see the Pope, they get the same feeling. Any Pope. So there are many popes over. There've been a few popes over their lifetimes. Any Pope they see, they get the same feeling. That's weird. I won't even go into the connotations of what that might mean, but that is just weird. Okay. The thing about supernatural experiences is that can't be explained, because how can you explain something you don't see again? How can you explain something you can't test, you can't recreate the parameters for? We can't do it. As humans, we are logical. Okay, even if you believe in God and you can't see God, according to people who believe in God like me, God has given us examples of how he exists or why he exists and that he does exist, because he knows we are logical creatures. We need cause and effect. We can't just have effect. We can't just have cause. We need cause and effect. We need that scientific, what has become the word scientific explanation. We need that process of this happened because of this, which is maybe due to that or that. We need that as humans. We need that. We can't not have that, or most of us can't anyway, because we're logical. I consider myself to be logical as well. If I see something, I'm already trying to work out. I don't quite know what it is. I'm already trying to work out what it is, why it is, what's happening here. The reason supernatural events are so unnerving is because you got the cause, you might have got the effect, but you don't know why or how. you just don't get it. Doesn't make sense. You're seeing something that doesn't make sense to everything else you've ever seen or everything else you've ever heard. You know what I mean? Like, we're told the dead, so why are the dead back? That's what you're thinking. Or how am I hearing voices when there's no one around? Why is my headache it's blowing up and I've not got a headache? It's just weird. Why am I looking at someone and I feel weird? You know, the reason we have words like weird and supernatural and odd is because we can't explain what we've seen or heard. So yeah, that's the end of this video, the supernatural experiences. Comment yours down below if you've had any, or if you know someone who has, and whether you believe them or not, or whatever. You know, just comment down below your supernatural experiences or those of those closest to you. And yeah, you know what? Comment if you do believe in ghosts or any other sort of supernatural things. Now, don't count the Lord God as supernatural. That's different. That's different in my opinion. It's not a question of that. It's a question of, have you ever experienced ghosts, demons, possession, any sorts of things. Yeah, so I'll leave you with one final thing. My most recent supernatural experience ever was at uni, and I experienced sleep paralysis. For those who don't know what that is, it's the feeling of being asleep and awake at the same time. You know, you're asleep, you can't move, but you're fully aware of what's around you in the real world. You know, it's not a dream, you're really aware of what is around you. And for me, I couldn't get up. It was like something was on my chest, and I heard my name being called. It was very, very unnerving, to the point of tears. I was terrified. And that is what, 2 years ago now? 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago. It was my first uni accommodation. So, yeah. Supernatural is not something to be taken lightly. I'm going to love you and leave you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with more fun, wonderful, colourful stories here on some vlogs. Scissor Plays is linked down in the description, along with TikTok, Instagram, Rizzle, and of course Twitter. More than that, there's of course the Pokemon cards giveaway that's still running. That's linked down below to that. Enter your Instagram name on all 6 videos and you'll be entered 6 times into the draw. Until next time guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Write it back if you want to hear all the stories again, but until next time, peace.